Well, hello everyone. This is Chrystal Lynn, Cowgirl Astrologer. I want to thank you so much for joining me tonight. I have a very special message tonight. And bear with me because I have a lot of information to share with you guys. But if there's any video that I've done, and I've done over 400 videos out there on YouTube on different topics and series and different things, I feel like this is one of the videos, if I could have go down in history, for myself, would be this video, this message. I feel like it's a very powerful message coming tonight. I did take some bring some notes because I feel it's so important. I was told not that long ago that I'm all over the place and my my titles don't match my videos, and that might be true. Welcome to my world. I say that because tonight I am going to be talking about the most important dominant theme that we have going on up in the sky, my favorite theme, the one that I personally identify with the most. And I finally feel like I get to share from this perspective. And the dominant theme that we have going on is Neptune in Pisces. We have Venus, Mars, Chiron, all in Pisces. We have the South Node in Pisces. And I have been talking about this in some of my other videos this month. So if you haven't had a chance to watch those, I hope you look back because it's unraveling a story. And many of you guys know, I mean, I've shared, and I don't share to just go on. I share because I want people to know kind of, you know, where I come from in my thinking, and that I am a Pisces rising or Pisces ascendant, and I have a moon in Pisces. I'm a Virgo, so I try to keep some order in all of this. But one thing I have to say, if you know anything about Pisces, if you have a Pisces friend, they may drive you absolutely crazy. They may sound like they're absolutely crazy, but you want to listen to your Pisces friends, okay? And the reason is that Pisces rules the 12th house. These are the hidden things, hidden spiritual things, the higher conscious and the unconscious. So often when the Pisces is talking to you, they don't even know it themselves that they're talking from a higher conscious. It's coming down through them. I've had people tell me throughout my whole life, how did you know that? Or did you know what you just said? And I'd be like, I have no idea. That's why I don't try to control my videos, although I may have an agenda or a plan when I start them. This kind of thing takes over. And, you know, it's kind of one of those things that if you like that style and you know how to read and follow the fish, it's a very exciting journey. So I want to talk about this energy because there's so much going on. And the title of my video is How to Survive the Storm. We are in a huge astrological storm. Now, when we think of storm, we immediately want to go, ooh, dark, right? In fact, it's raining right outside right now. It's the perfect setting to talk about what a storm is. What is a storm? A storm, we know, just basics, right? Just if you're anybody would say, well, a storm is the building of pressure, right? The building of pressure and then a final release. And sometimes we get a little rain and, you know, next day it's sunny and not quite enough to do anything. It feels really good. We had a little bit of a release. The pressure was released. Right now, though, as you know, California and many other places, there's storms going on everywhere. We've had like 4 or 5 days now of real steady rain, which we need. And it's a very, very intense time in our world. Okay. Now, first of all, I want to say I'm going to talk about world topics tonight, but I'm going to warn you in a good way. We're not going to debate on what's happening out there. We are going to take a higher level of consciousness right now and go into some very interesting historical facts, into some prophecy, and into some future predictions. Okay. So to be able to have this conversation, if you're watching this video and you want to hang in there, we need to be able to set down for a minute everything that we know. Everything that we know. I'm not saying get rid of it. I'm not saying throw it away. I'm not saying let it go. I'm just asking you to set it down for a minute because we're not going to talk about that. We're going to take ourselves to the bigger picture. We're going to rise above like the eagle, okay? We're going to look higher to what is happening around us. Because if there's any way we are going to survive this storm, we have to go in with an understanding of what is actually going on. The other way we could look at this is taking maybe like a journalist perspective, that we don't have an opinion. Now, we're going to be good journalists, that we don't have an opinion and we're just looking. Okay, we're going to remove ourselves a minute from the situations, which is, by the way, a Pisces trait. The Pisces has the ability to escape, and the reason that they are escaping is because the reality of what is happening is not really the reality. And the Pisces knows that. Now, the reason why I'm going to talk so much about this whole Pisces energy, and I'll talk about some of the other things going on as well, because many of you say you're not Pisces, and those of you who are, and the other water signs are going to really feel this, but if maybe you're not familiar with that energy, you're feeling it right now. You're going, what the hell is going on? And for many of us, it's kind of like, welcome to our world. Although, for many of us who do have water sign in our chart, okay, Cancer, Scorpio, and Pisces, now we're getting this amplified 100-fold. Okay, there's this huge amplification, and this is a huge storm. The earth is crying out right now. It's been building pressure. Now, the pressure I'm going to talk about has been building for 2,000 years. Okay, we're going to talk about that. But before we get into all the goods, I want to give you guys just a little basic kit here to survive this storm. When you look at the Pisces, we have to look at what's going on, because whether you're a Pisces or not, you may be feeling these symptoms. Okay, there's a lot of symptoms going on right now. You may be feeling like you've been hit by a truck. Your body may be sore, your stomach, you're just feeling really crampy. Your back, I'm describing my week. Your feet, everything you touch. You might be very noise sensitive right now when the kids are screaming. You find yourself just cringing, a lot of high anxiety. Why? Because, let's look, and like I said, I did get my notes so I could relay it a little bit more clearly. Pisces rules the feet, the most sensitive part of the body, and the general nervous system. The thalamus is the part of the brain that transmits stimuli to and from the sensory organs. Okay, that sounds really exciting. Well, yes, so if you know a Pisces, they're living on kind of like fingertips. You know, when your fingertips, when you hit your finger, you go, ow, okay? Well, you hit your finger and you felt that nerve. Now, imagine you never even hit your finger, but you're feeling through these nerves all the time. Everything is extremely sensitive. Body language, blink of an eye, a shift in somebody's, demeanor, your eyes catching everything. It's going through you. It's kind of like you're looking through everything in a magnifying glass, and you're reading it. So Pisces operate on a very high sensory, okay, extreme sensory. It also rules the sinuses. So if you're having extreme allergies, pneumonia is going around right now, allergy attacks. If you have asthma or if you have anything like that, it may be really inflamed right now, okay, because it's sinuses. Most of your allergy or your Pisces friends will let you know that you'll know that they suffer from allergies. I'm sorry. I'm getting old now. I'm starting to have to wear glasses. I was trying to prolong it as long as I could. But so these are the sinuses. These are the things that are being affected right now. So what could be the answer? I'm going to give you guys a couple tips and some things I'm doing. First of all, hot baths, Epsom salt, get in the water. I don't even care if you're just, we normally hate to wash the dishes. Get in and wash the dishes and put the water on hot and let it come in and open up your sinuses. The other thing is there's a cell salt that is what's best for Pisces, and that is the ferrum phosphate. which is iron. So if you are not feeling good right now, you may be very depleted in iron, okay? Because again, whether you're a Pisces or not, we're being flooded with this energy, and you may be feeling symptoms that are typical to Pisces, okay? So iron is the manufacture of hemoglobin to the blood, oxygen to the lungs, and to other body cells. So when you're low in iron, there's anemia, low blood pressure, inflammations, glands, your glands are swollen, your sinus glands, you know, irregulations. So you may just be feeling like crap, okay? So you need to get some iron in your body. You need to drink a lot of water. The other thing that is really good to get iron from, okay, it's better to get it naturally if you can. I'm going to read a few just suggestions that you could add to your regimen right now. Foods rich in iron for the Pisces should include liver, lean beef, lamb, egg yolks, oysters, kidneys, whole grains, cereals, barley, dried beans, beets, spinach, onions, lettuce, raisins, dates, prunes, apricots, peaches, grapes. Let's see what else here. My light just went off. You know, chicken, low in fat and low in sugar. Okay, low in fat and low in sugar. Lemons, oranges, apples, grapes, yogurt, natural cheeses, nuts are excellent source of protein and have a lot of iron in them, okay? Now, Pisces get in trouble for drinking coffee, and it always says, be careful, because we do have very sensitive systems. But coffee can open up sinuses. I have to drink coffee every morning. You know, I try to keep it minimal, but I have to open up my sinuses every morning because I'm very allergic in the morning. Coffee is the only thing that does that. So I wanted to give you guys a few tips on how to start feeling better right now, okay? The other thing is that there is a huge wave of toxic energy going through the internet right now, okay? And extremely important that all of us pay attention to how it's affecting us. Maybe for many of us, it's different. But some of our, you know, anxiety right now and the things going on in our bodies breaking down is because we're taking in a lot. We're taking in a lot. There's a lot going on out there. We know that, right? And we've been a part of it, or we tried to avoid. It doesn't matter if you've avoided it, if you've been a part of it, if you've tried to put your 2 cents in. It doesn't matter because it's everywhere. You know, it's very difficult because for many of us, we can all, you know, we can all identify that this is a spiritual divide. This is a divide in our homes. This is a divide in our work. This is a divide in our friends. People are disconnecting with each other because of belief systems right now and opinions and thoughts and feelings. There's a lot of fear. You have to remember there's a lot of fear going on right now. I'd say all the water signs deal with high levels of fear, okay? Because often we can feel into situations, and just as easy as it is to look at the positive, the water signs are really good at also seeing the worst case scenarios. So there's a lot of over emotionalism. And if you can imagine that everybody out there is feeling like nerve ending fingertips, okay? And physically our bodies are really starting to feel this. All right, we've had Venus and Mars conjunct in Pisces, okay, with Neptune. And Chiron, again, the South Node. So this is a heavy duty, powerful movement. When we think of Pisces, we also have to think about the water. We have to think that it's the water. So what is going on in our world right now? Look at what is going on. What are we seeing? We're seeing huge issues with water pipelines and people coming out to protect our water. That's such a huge issue right now. We're looking at the oceans and the toxicity in our oceans, and the animals are dying like never before. This has been happening, right? Been happening. Well, now everything like a volcano, okay, this is very volcanic, powerful surging that the universe is like, let's bringing this all through now. Repression. Pisces deal with a lot of repression. If you're a Pisces, you know what I'm talking about. We repress our emotions because they're so powerful and it's really hard to operate with them in the everyday world. So Pisces deal with a lot of repressing, which can also make them very sick. Drug addiction and alcoholism, you know, everybody likes to blame the wino Pisces, you know, the homeless person on the beach, which is probably the happiest ones. But this is a little joke. But because they've let go, and yet it's a sad life because they didn't find their voice. And what ends up happening is that level of escapism becomes so great, and the nerve endings are so intense, not being able to communicate in everyday life, which many Pisces have a hard time doing, how to communicate this high level of thinking, because it's like sometimes it's just too much. It's like people don't operate on all these thoughts. And you know, I'm always studying religious things and history and documentaries and what happened when, and you know, everybody looks at me like, okay, well, like we're watching the local or the, you know, the most popular show out there, and those just don't, I mean, they're okay, but I want to know what happened, and I want to get in deep in the ocean and go down to the bottom and find the treasures. You know, I want to ask all those questions. So can you imagine my household when I like, hey, guess what I just watched? And they're like, okay, mom, you know, and it's like, all right, but that's so I have to repress a lot of things and try to find other creative outlets to bring this out, which is what's been so awesome about this channel. So it's overwhelming. It really is overwhelming. And I'm surprised I'm out here right now, because to be honest, I have been not feeling well the last week, because so much of this Pisces energy is all over right on my degrees of my chart and activating so much. So I, as an astrologer, you know, I try and stick with, you know, what is going on for other people, but also myself. Like I have to live through this too. Like sometimes it's just really hard and I have to take breaks. I can't give out as much. The last week I haven't had anything. I've been flat, you know, because the universe is just trying to purge. I think part of all this muscle soreness and stomach aches and different things many of us are feeling, it's because our body's trying to release a lot of stress. And for many of us, years and years and years of stress. So this is a very important time right now to do a lot of self-nurturing. It's critical. So if you've gotten yourself sick with what's going on out there in the big bad world, or you've got yourself just, you know, step back. You have to step back, okay, on wherever you're at with this. Just step back a minute and take care of yourself, because you can get really sick with so much of this energy being so intense right now, okay? So to take us on a little higher road here a minute, I want to talk about one of the things that's happening, and many of you who study astrology have studied the more ancient understanding of certain things in astrology and the religious connections with astrology and the history, the storylines, evolutionary astrology, if you want to call it that. And some of you, this may be the first time. So hopefully it'll shed some light for everybody. We are at the end of the age of Pisces. An age is a 2,000-year period. The age of Pisces represented the Christian era, the New Testament, Jesus, the storyline of Jesus. Okay, however you want to see Jesus, there's a storyline. Here's a persona. He has affected the world. His message and spirit of Jesus has affected the world for 2,000 years. All of the prior 2,000-year period, okay, the age of Aries, which we want to just look back a little bit, which is the Old Testament, an eye for an eye and a tooth for a tooth, and the beginning of making tools out of iron and steel and protecting ourselves and trying to live by a law. They had to sacrifice something to be right, okay, to be right. And so when Jesus came, and he was, you know, all through the Old Testament, they were pointing the finger to the Messiah, right? He's coming. No longer will we have to sacrifice a real physical lamb to make ourselves right anymore. He will be the ultimate lamb sacrifice, one sacrifice, and we can all enter in to the Spirit, okay? Now, the age of Pisces was marked by sacrifice and struggle, okay? So when we look at the message, okay, we're just talking about the Spirit, and the messages behind the storyline, again, is very critical, because again, no matter what you believe, this is the storyline of the stars, okay, the universe, the universal storyline is the storyline of a death and resurrection. So the marking was sacrifice and struggle. Now, if you're a Pisces out there, you might relate to this when I say it's a very common theme in the life of a Pisces, of this death to yourself, death to your life, and then this ultimate sacrifice, and then rising again, this death on the cross, and then rising again. Okay, so it's marked by this pattern, all right, that we've all been in. The other thing about this pattern, when you look at Pisces, they are one of the signs that probably have some of the most tumultuous relationships, okay, because they are the ultimate empath. I believe the ultimate, yes, all the other water signs have a strong empathic side, but the Pisces operates from a truly strange unconditional love, okay? It's a love that sees through, where, you know, the Cancer, as long as there's security in the home, they'll go ahead and love you. But if you're not bringing security to the home, you're out. The Scorpio will see right through you. They're looking at the darkness in you first. That's the first thing they see, is right through you down to your darkest side, which can feel a little unnerving, but necessary, right? The Pisces sees the best in you right away. The best in you, what you could be, this unconditional love. And in our day and age, because the age of Pisces is also marked with a very spiritual message of good and bad, heaven and hell, angels and demons, you know, a very toxic, or a very possibly necessary, okay, but yet painful often, relationship between this codependent, empathic person with this controlling kind of takeover relationship, okay, take over you. Now, we could say the narcissist versus the empath on extreme levels, but even on a basic healthy level, that is the relationships we've all been in. Okay, it marks the last 2,000 years. You know, my mother, my mother, born in 38, this dynamic was going on in their life, and they didn't have a voice. They didn't go home to mama and tell mama what was going on. In our day and age, we go home to mama and daddy, and they did, you know, if we have problems in relationships, we have, you know, we have all these places we can go, and videos we can watch, and therapists and counselors, and we have restraining orders, and we have all of these laws that protect us from these relationships, okay? Now, on the other side of this relationship, this can also be the most euphoric, the most incredible. The Pisces can live out storyline relationships, okay? Just like a movie, you know, the Cinderella story is very, very familiar in my mind when I think of the Pisces, okay, the Cinderella story. So this can actually play out in the family of a Pisces. Now, again, you might think, well, I'm not a Pisces, so what does this have to do with me? Again, this is a dynamic of a 2,000-year period that we're all in. We all just play different roles of this storyline. Okay, we all play different characters in this storyline. But the bottom line is the plot behind the scene is this good and evil, good and evil. Now, if you remember, there's a place in the Bible, I don't know if I should look it up so I can read it right to you. Let me see if I can do that real quick. I apologize. I wanted to, and I've heard different versions of this lately. But if you guys remember, there's a storyline of the lion lays down with the lamb. Okay, you guys have maybe heard that before. Nowadays, they use the wolf. The wolf will live with the lamb. So the wolf or the lion, like the lion, I've always known it as the lion, but the lion will live with the lamb. The leopard will lie down with the goat, and the calf and the lion and the yearling together, and a little child will lead them. This is a prophecy about a time period that will be coming. But do we live in that time period right now? No. We are scared to death of relationships and these toxic situations, and you know, wolf and lambs aren't lying down together, that's for sure. So why would, in the Old Testament, the book of Isaiah, this is 11:6 for those of you guys who like to research, the lion will lay down with the lamb. Okay, I want you to hear me here. This is a period that's been prophesied thousands and thousands of years ago. What I believe is about the age of Aquarius, which we are entering right now as we speak. We are on the cusp of this new 2,000-year period. I mean, I don't know if that excites you guys, but that blows my mind because, I mean, to be on the cusp of a new age, a 2,000-year period, like we are living in the most incredible times. Now, again, the storyline I'm giving you about Jesus is more about right now the parallels and the metaphors and the understanding of what was behind what we see. You know, when we look at the story of Jesus, you can read things, but there was always kind of this cryptic message, which is very Piscean as well. And let me share this verse with you guys. Luke 22, 10. As you enter the city, a man carrying a jar of water will meet you. Follow him to the house that he enters. Now, right before that, Jesus says, you will no longer see me. I will no longer be here. Okay? As you enter the city, a man carrying a jar of water will meet you. Follow him into the house that he enters. Well, we know astrologically that the man carrying a jar of water is the Aquarius. Okay, he is the water bearer. And Jesus was referring here, and you can look in this whole Luke 22 thing. The whole thing was preparing us for this new age. Okay, now ages go backwards, so if that's confusing you, any Aries, Pisces, now we're entering the age of Aquarius. Now, most astrologers will say that the age of Aquarius is going to run anywhere from 2050 to like 2100. So the next 36 to 100 years. Okay, I've read several places like 2050. We're in 2017 right now. Okay, so we're like 30 years away from this cusp. Even if we were 100 years away from this cusp, okay, we're in the cusp, because when you're looking at 2,000 years and you're down to 50, yeah, you're in the cusp, right? We've already been feeling the effects of the age of Aquarius. What is the age of Aquarius? We know the internet rules the internet. Okay, when Neptune was in Aquarius for 14 years, okay, so going back, I know Neptune went into Pisces in 2012. So go back 14 years there. This is a huge movement of the internet, of opportunities for us, okay? One thing when we think about Aquarius, we need to look at a couple of factors here. We need to look at brotherhood. It's about brotherhood, about a humanitarian. It's very about humanity, these utopian ideas, right? And I go back now to the lion laying down with the lamb, utopian ideas that we will have peace together, that we will finally be able to be and be together and respect one another equally, that there'll be unity, equal rights, right? What are we seeing right now out there as journalists? What are we seeing right out there? All right, this is all about equal rights going on. Let's see what else here. Industrial nations will fade, okay? The old ghost towns that we want to go back and we want to try and, you know, rebuild these things and bring life back into them. That may not be exactly what is predicted for us to be doing. Again, as journalists, just looking at this, we need to look. There's a scripture, another scripture that I thought was really interesting, because I was going back biblically and kind of connecting to these revelations that were given 2,000 years ago and how they applied today. I've been reading these scriptures for so many years, and now that I understand astrology, I'm just blown away at how connected they are. In Matthew 9:17, no one puts new wine into old wineskins, for the old skins would burst from the pressure, spilling the wine and ruining the skins. New wine is stored in new wineskins so that both are preserved. You might think, well, what the heck does that mean? We are in a time in history right now where the age of Pisces is on this side, which is the old conditions, the ones we've all been raised with. I mean, I was raised very heavily indoctrinated Christian. I know the Bible back and forth, but there's some really heavy, strong conditionings that go with that our bodies, our spirits are rejecting. We no longer fit into the old wineskins. And as Jesus said, okay, if we want to use this as an analogy tonight, as Jesus said, I will no longer be there. Look to the man with the jar of water and go into the house he enters. The age of Aquarius. So here we are, and we're seeing this fight. We're seeing, oh my gosh, do we hold on to our old values, our Christian values? And we have one side going, hang on. We're going to make this great again. We're going to put all this back in here and raise this back up. Can we really do that is my question. I mean, hey, I'm questioning these things just like you are. Biblically and astrologically, it's telling me we can't take and take this new wine and put it back into these old wineskins. Can we raise up the old ghost towns? Are we supposed to be doing that? But what? There's fear like never, ever, ever before, because half of the world is struggling to hang on to something they've always known. And you know what? I understand that. I mean, I get that. And I struggle with it too. Oh my gosh. You know, I'm very traditionalist. You know, I have a lot of strong things that, you know, I have inside of me. I was raised with, you know, the Pluto and Virgo generation. Many of us are raised in the Pluto and Virgo generation. You guys know what I'm talking about. We're like, oh shit, which way do we go here? What is going on? Because the messages coming through to us are messages that really ring true to our heart and holding on to what we've always known. Okay. The age of Aquarius, on the other hand, is everybody's equal. Everybody has the same opportunities. Everybody's their own president. Okay, their own president. I mean, and I think about it and I think, let me tell you guys something. My whole life, I grew up Orange County, California, you know, high school, horsey girl, whatever, all those things, down at the beach, living the typical California girl life. You know, that's all I've ever known. And all of my jobs were done with my hands. I didn't even know how to use the computer 7 years ago. I was outside training horses, getting dumped off of horses every other day, or out there working with animals in my little community. Okay. When the wave of Aquarius, Neptune Aquarius came through and started drawing even our generation, the Pluto and Virgo generation, out to the internet, I was like, what is this? Facebook? I knew how to do an email and I knew how to do a few things, but I really wasn't interested in it. And when Saturn was in Virgo, many of you guys know in our generation, our whole worlds went down. The hands-on businesses where everybody in the neighborhood's coming to your lemonade stand were no longer happening. Saturn in Virgo in 2007 and 2009 took down the old way of doing things. You can blame it on Obama or blame it on the president or blame it on whoever with whatever was going on at the time. It's an astrological happening to break down those things. I don't care who would have been in the president's seat. They couldn't have stopped that from happening because the universe wanted to break down working with their hands, like I said, the typical lemonade stand. Why? To push us out here on the internet where we can have our own expression and we can speak from our own wisdom and we can find tribes that resonate with our messages, and we can have small groups of people, and maybe if we have a little product, we could actually maybe even eat and provide for our families in a very, very unique way that we can do. And one day our hair might not even be brushed, although my hair's brushed today, and we can still be loved because it's not about the outer persona and being so great. It's about real life living and authentic living and helping each other do that. It's interesting to me because, you know, celebrities these days, I don't know how you guys feel about this. I was just noticing all the celebrities out there with their messages and how they've come down to humanity, right? They've come down to a human level. They're using their celebrity to be human for humanity. And whatever's coming there out of their mouth is not scripted, okay? They're real people now. They have come down off this pedestal that we all idolized. Part of the age of Pisces is idolizing a savior, whether it's Jesus, whether it's celebrity, whether it's, you know, whatever it is. There's a very strong fanaticism with the age of Pisces. With the age of Aquarius is now. Everybody's their own celebrity. And we're all equal. And we all respect one another. You know, when we look at this, there's a brotherhood. There's small tribes coming together. So what you're seeing out in the world right now, okay, let's try. I'm trying here with everybody, all right? Again, this isn't about debate. This is about what the heck are we seeing? Let's pull ourselves back. What are we seeing? We're seeing a huge release of repression. Blowing up Pluto in Capricorn, which is volcano and government, okay? Pluto in Capricorn, which is a 20-year approximately transit. And we're only in this thing about 7-something years, okay? It's really intense. It's really intense because this period of time with Pluto in Capricorn is all about blowing up and breaking down the old way of doing things. Fear, when you look out there and you're looking at your friends and you're going, oh my God, I don't even know if I want to be their friend anymore. They're turning into this fanatic. And look over here, these people I really respected, they're going crazy too. I'm like, oh my God, what's going on? I'm not saying nothing because I don't want to get caught up because everybody's operating out of fear. Their whole worlds are being blown up. Okay, this isn't about the presidents. This isn't even about America, right? This is a world issue. You know, if you look at, and this is just an observation, my observation, this isn't a judgment either way. I'm trying to be really neutral as an astrologer and as a coming with a message. But I was thinking, I was looking at, you know, the White House. I can remember when the White House just seemed like the White House. It's the White House, you know. And because, you know, we have had reality shows come into our world the last X amount of years. In fact, The Apprentice was one of my favorite shows. You know, those kind of reality shows, to have people that we've seen in reality shows and in this world and family, we've been kind of being desensitized to this idea. In the White House, it's kind of hard because it was always this like awe of the White House. Now it's kind of like, oh, it's Donald Trump. You know, it's like, okay, you know, but then we know him from over here too. Again, put everything else aside. You know, this is just a perspective. But at the same time, isn't it leveling the playing field? Isn't it leveling the playing field? To bring celebrities down to quote unquote our level, to bring the average person out into the world to have a voice, whether you're a woman, whether you're gay, whether you, whatever religious belief you have. Neptune in Pisces, remember, this is a 14-year period, you guys. Haven't been here for 165 years. There is a huge purging all over this internet of people coming out with their voices. The average person. There's videos all over the internet that are religious organizations. We'll just use some religious organizations, Jehovah's Witness, Mormons, even the Jesus movement Christians, the born again Christians that I was in. We're in these movements. Now we're all coming out going, oh, wait a minute. How do we still love the Creator but not live in these conditions? It's been very difficult for so many people. Women are coming out right now, but don't forget, okay, now I'm going to give a little plug for women right now. Neptune is in Pisces. Neptune is a feminine, in Pisces is a feminine sign. Absolutely, women are rising, the goddess, okay, because Pisces is the triple goddess, all right, the whole, you know, the God, the Father, the Holy Spirit. Well, when you take these things literally, so literally, like you put them in a box. But when you understand the message coming through over 2,000 years, the Pisces is able to be earthbound, be heavenly bound, and also be, you know, go through the walls, you know, just be spirit. And so they operate with these three things. The problem is, because we live in a difficult world to live in, that three, when it's not operating right, that's when the Pisces gets off and can really live a tragic life. Pisces can live a really tragic life. And I understand. I mean, I've done many things in my life to keep me from going down the other fishy path, because I want to go down there. I want to look. I want to see what's down in the dark. I'm not afraid of it at the bottom of the ocean. And I've gotten myself in trouble a few times in my life. And so I'm always having to swim upstream like the trout. You know, it's kind of like, and I say to myself, you know, do you want to be the catfish or do you want to be a trout? Because catfish swim at the bottom, you know, and they just all congregate, you know, wait for a little something to come down. The trout swims upstream. You know, do you want to be that rainbow trout? And so my whole life, every crossroad I've hit, which way am I going to go? And I could go either way, because the Pisces can transcend either way. So there's a huge, understand what I'm saying, huge duality. So what we are experiencing right now is a huge duality. You're seeing the worst of people and you're seeing the best of people. Whatever side you're on, if you're really feeling passionate about a certain focus, don't forget, it's that savior mentality we're clinging to that's in our DNA. You know, this side over here is going to save us. this person over here is going to free us. Well, guess what? Neither one of them can do it, because the age of Aquarius says the answer lies in following the man that's holding the jar of water into the house that he enters. So what does that mean for us? This is heavy duty stuff, you guys. I know. I had to do it. Look at what's happening to me up in the sky right now. This is stuff that goes on in my head every day. Now you guys get to see it. This is hard for me too. I've lived my whole life in very intense sacrificial conditions. And for me to even come out and have this kind of voice, it's like it's my body is like, it has to come out, but it's difficult. It's difficult. I'm believing a blind faith that the lion can lay down with the lamb, that our relationships can be dignified, that we can respect one another's belief systems, that we can respect other nations and we can respect each other. I know, it's so scary, huh? We've all been cultivated with such fear all the time that haven't been able to see throughout, see past that. That's what we've been trained, that you're bad, and you need a savior, you need something to make you good because you're bad, you're born bad, and you're not good. Unless you do this, then you can be good. Right? This is the first time right now in history for many of us that we are saying, no, we're good. We're okay. Yes, we have a shadow side. Yes, we can go down and make bad decisions. Astrologically speaking, many of us have charts that take us down into the deep waters of life. Many people right now who have suffered abuse through religious situations, through family extreme dynamics of abuse, who are struggling to come out with, what their body tells them. I might look like a man, but my body inside out, internally is a woman, even 20, 30 years ago. I mean, you couldn't even say that. They were rejected by their families. Now people are able to be who we are, because the age of Aquarius says, don't look at the body, look through to the spirit of the person. Part of the internet has set us up to connect with the spirit of the person. We no longer are getting together, are we? There's a funny comedy act out there, and I'm sorry, this is probably going to be longer because this message just has to come out. So bear with me. One of my longer messages. And it was this comedian. He was like, 20 years ago when, somebody would come and they'd knock at the door, they wouldn't call first. And, you'd be like, mom would always have a crumb cake ready and tea ready in case somebody popped in. And everybody's so excited that somebody popped in, right? When you're growing up, right? The neighbor popped in, everybody popped in to your house and you were ready for people to pop in. In our day and age now, if somebody comes in, you're like, where's the gun? Who is that? Who's that car? I don't know. Do you know who that car is? No, I don't know. And, it's like they're knocking on the door and you're like, hello, who is it? It's like, you didn't call. You could have called first, because we now have learned how to have this huge connection through the spirit, through the energetic spirit of this airwave, which is all age of Aquarius. The reason why I'm trying, and this will go on in many messages, as I'm learning as well, this profession that I'm choosing to be able to come on and take my almost, not claiming it yet, almost 50 years of experience. I got 2 more years, or a year and a half. Almost 50 years of experience is because I've lived life a little bit. And if I can help one person, one young person, if somebody could have come to me when I was 20, I mean, it makes me want to cry, and told me the things I'm telling some of you young people now, oh my gosh. But astrology and this type of work was considered taboo because nobody wanted anybody to have the ability to look within. So much of why astrology has been put down over the years is because of the conditionings, the religious conditionings that believed that you're focusing on yourself. And if you just focus on God only and not focus on yourself, you'd be fine. Just follow this kind of thing and deny, repress yourself. Meanwhile, we're opening the door to wolves in sheep's clothing because we're not allowed to know who we are or listen to our intuition that doesn't feel right because we have to turn the other cheek. And we have to just keep opening up our lives. And that was the dynamic. The reason that we are having this epidemic issue of toxic relationships, the narcissist versus the empath, okay, go on the internet, it's all over the place, it's in every message. We can't deny it. We can't deny that we've all experienced these patterns in relationships. The reason this is coming to the surface is because the universe is bringing it to the surface now, along with all these other exoduses. That's like an exodus of people, spiritual people coming out and saying this relationship, this dance that we've all been living in for 2,000 years is no longer working. And the empaths, the spiritual people, the people called, and I know there's names. I'm just talking about the person that says, hey, I want to be a part. I want to live and be present and use what God has given me and be proud of myself and be proud of what I've been given and honor the gift I've been given, not squelch it and think it's bad. And no. Why can't we? Why can't we just respect ourselves and respect others? Respect, it's not about ego. It's about humility, not humiliation, two different things. Humility and understanding, wow, the universe is so amazing that we are in this time in life, that we are given these gifts, that we have the wisdom and knowledge of everything we ever need within us. That we need not one more thing. The Bible promised that the Spirit, you wouldn't even have to know what you need to say and do because the Spirit would give it to you at the right time. In the end times, when Jesus was no more, I will send my Spirit and you will speak. And you don't have to worry about what to say and when to say it. I will give it to you when it's necessary as I believe. So when my messages are all over the place, you know what? This is my unique style. This is how my brain works. This is who I am. And I'm okay with that. If it drives you guys crazy, go watch another video of somebody that has a different personality that resonates with you. If you are a 5-minute little video person, I kind of like 5-minute little videos too. I only have a couple people I watch all these long videos about. I'm all over the internet with different people I like. Some drive me crazy, but I still watch them. Still watch them because they stir me up. You know, they teach me something. They piss me off, and it makes me go study something or challenges me. Sometimes I watch those videos. It's okay. Don't get caught in the fear right now because of the Pisces energy. Now, don't forget, the sun's moved into Aquarius. See, I have Aquarius in my 12th house. So sun has just came in and opened up my 12th house. All the stuff I'm talking about, I keep hidden from most people and you guys. I say little things here and there. I'm letting it all come out because the sun is illuminating my 12th house of spirituality and my Aquarian side. I'm operating in high Aquarian energy right now, being highlighted by the sun. The South Node is going to move in to Aquarius this year for an 18-month cycle in April of 2017. You guys, I'm going to be talking a lot about the North Node and South Node. The North Node's going to move into Leo. Okay, look, this is going to get heavy the next 18 months. Leo, the lion, the Aquarius, humanity, dominance, humanity, dominance, one for all or all for one. I hope I said that right. You know what I'm talking about. Okay. We're going to be challenged like never before. The spiritual people out there who are hiding You know who I'm talking about? I keep encouraging the people come to me. I do a lot of career consultations, one of my favorite things to do. And I'm like, you know, write a blog, do a video, write a blog, write a book, do a video. And they're like, you know what? Put your message down in history. I don't care how you do it. If you don't like to be on camera, there's a thing on these things. You can make an audio. You don't even have to have your face on here. I don't care if you make a whole video journal and don't even show anybody right now and keep it to yourself. Learn to communicate if you want to have a voice moving in. And if all of your financial or your career ambitions are focused on what anybody, I don't care if it's this side or I don't care if it's this side, can do for you, you better think again. Because the answer lies with where? Follow the man with the jar of water into the house he enters. Follow the Aquarian energy, the internet, the humanity, the freedom. You're your own president. Does it mean you don't contribute to society? And that's the thing. You want to have a voice? Quit fighting each other and put your money where your mouth is. If you don't like something, don't put your money in it. All of that going on is very critical because the world right now, we're in a full-blown revolution. Do you guys realize we're in a full-blown end-time revolution? The Bible spoke about this 2,000 years ago in detail. I mean, I can get into all that, but I'm trying to keep it, you know, not overwhelming. We're in the end times of the age of Pisces, not the end of the ever end, because the age of Aquarius takes us to the other side. In my lifetime, and you know, when I think about it, in 2050, I'll be 80 years old. I'll be 80 years old. I don't know if I'll be here, but my kids will be here. And these videos might be here. These messages might be here. That's why I'm saying what we're doing now is building a vault, building a historical vault for the future. If you have a message at the core of your being, or you're an artist, or you're a spiritual coach, or you're a life coach, stand up now and come out. And I'm going to say this, and I'm getting, I'm sorry to say this, but if you are out there and you've been taking in these spiritual messages and these videos and being fed, and you're so fat on spiritual knowledge and astrological knowledge, and you're not donating to a channel or sponsoring a channel or getting a reading or buying a book or helping these spiritual people out there, if you're not doing that, then you're just getting fat on it. What are you going to do with it? Put your money where your mouth is. If we want good to come out, if we want to be on top, if we want our voices heard, because the other beautiful thing, the beautiful thing about the age of Aquarius is, guess what the religion is? Guess what the language of Aquarius is? Astrology. You and I and this movement we're in, all of you guys, we've been studying together on all these pages and groups and all this stuff we've been doing, and we're just, like I said, we're fat on it. We already know about the 4,000, the 12,000, this and that. Guess what? The world out there has no clue of what's going on. Can you imagine how scary that is? At least we can sit here and go, all right, we're in a storm. Let's eat some good food. And we know exactly how to manage these storms if we're smart. Those of you who are watching this video right now are part of this movement. I'm a part of this movement. Put your money where your mouth is. Support these small channels. Support people who are growing healthy food and teaching others how to do it. You know, even if you give everybody $5, $10, do a donate, do a something, do anything. I say that because what's going to happen is, to the spiritual people, we've been giving out a long time, and we're like struggling artists back here. We're not complaining because we love what we do, but we're dying on the vine too back here, and it's hard for us to keep giving. And pretty soon You're not going to have just access to all of this, because the people, you know, the universe is calling up the spiritual leaders that have been in this movement, those of us struggling to be in it, and they're going to call us out. It's going to call us to the front lines. You want to come with us. You want to be a part of it. And we want to help you recreate this idea within your own creative dreams. It's a pattern. It's a pattern. I'm just showing you guys a pattern. If you want something to change, put your energy there and respect it. Don't just take from it anymore. I've been guilty of it myself. And you know what? I purposely have certain channels. It's like, I'm going to send them $10. That was a great message. Or I'm going to buy that book. I buy a lot of books. Some of them I haven't read yet. But if somebody writes a book, I buy your book. I've had astrologer friends of mine on the thing. I have one friend, I guess I'll mention his name. He'll be surprised. My Edwin Lerner. And, I'll give him a shout out. Hi. He's so faithful on this YouTube, and he's just so real, and he's just so humble about it. And if you really listen to him, he's got a lot of knowledge. And I was in a real crisis about a year ago, and I'm like, what other astrologer who could handle this? Like, I just listen to everybody, but I give a certain problem, and that astrologer might be good for that. This seems like that'd be a good problem. So I just kept thinking of him. And I'd watched his videos, he always just has this way of consistent. He just keeps putting himself out there, And I know, just like all of us, struggling, video after video after video after video. Trust me, you guys, it gets hard back here to just keep without having some exchange. And we don't want to be like, I don't want to get into that whole thing of turning it into a commercial product. But at the same time, you have to figure out what's the next step for this world? How do we be respected giving this out? Because it's been so easy. And I asked him some questions, and I said, hey, could you look at this situation for me? I need another set of eyes. And he was so great. And he did. He never asked me for anything. And he sent me back a whole entire written out thing about it and explained to me. And then, and then he even, like a month later, how's everything going and stuff. And you know what? I made him a donation. He was shocked, and he didn't even ask for it. And I said to myself, he gave me something. And it's really hard when, and I'm sorry I'm getting off on this tangent, but I think it's important to understand the point I'm trying to make. You don't like what's happening? We have more power than we're giving ourselves. And you see, so many people out there boycotting and taking money out of companies and different things. That's part of the age of Aquarius. Whether you agree with them, whether you like it, whether you think they're crazy as hell, it doesn't matter, is what I'm trying to tell you guys. Why doesn't it matter? Because the universe is calling everybody up in this fanaticism, passionate way. Pisces is very, very fanatic. Okay, the followers, so there's a lot of followers going on and fanaticism. But when something blows up that's been repressed for a long time, it doesn't come out very graceful. It will calm down. And people will start to tribe up, and then they'll start to do strategies, and then hopefully will be more respect. But the tribal mentality is not going to change. That's being asked, because within tribes, we get stuff done. Tribes get stuff done. So look at this, if you can, from a back up and look at this from an astrological, historical position. Evolutionary astrology is exactly what's supposed to be happening. When you look at your friends right now, if you're thinking, oh my God, I can't stand one more of these people that are going off in this way or that way, realize they're operating, and we're all operating out of fear to some degree. We all are. That's part of the plan, part of the process. Fear is what makes changes. We don't do anything unless we've been hurt. We don't change unless we've hit rock bottom. We don't change unless we've had something shake us to the core. And America is being shooken to the core. Hallelujah. Don't be afraid of what's happening. Don't feed into the hysteria, though. And be careful of the fanaticism and this cult-like mentality that we're looking for one person. It's not the house we're supposed to enter. That's the old way. We're just confused, and the world doesn't get it yet. They're like, their whole world's being ripped out from underneath them, most people. At least for us, we can all sit here and have these kind of conversations. You know, and I might get messages underneath arguing about one or the other. I'm not the place to do that. It doesn't matter to me. It doesn't matter to me. I have my own intuitions and thoughts, and I'm not here to tell you what to do. I'm here to say, speak your voice in your own tribe, but do something healthy with it. Do something productive with it. That once we get out of Pisces energy, and we, you know, we also have, you know, we have Saturn, Mercury, and Sagittarius is also, anytime you see Jupiter is like a very fanatic, you know, so Jupiter rules Sagittarius, and Sagittarius is the cult leader. Okay, it's a very cult leader type mentality. It's the guru, you know, and the guru, everybody follows the guru, you know. The age of Aquarius, we're all gurus. And we all have mini tribes. It's not about having tens of thousands of followers. You know, sometimes it's been hard because my channel's kind of like grown slowly, and it's because of me. Like every time I get on a little bit of a, then I kind of, you know, I have to do this whole swimming Pisces thing, and I look around me and I see some of my, you know, my YouTube people that I look up to that are in this type of work and do this type of study. I mean, I'm studying this stuff all the time behind the scenes, and I know they are too. And some of them are just mass followings and everything, and you think, well, what do I need to do to, you know, why can't I, and what's wrong with me? And it just keeps, the message keeps coming to me. No, for me, it's a small tribe. It's the ones that resonate with you. Don't worry. Let everybody get a little piece of the pie. Everybody that puts their intention and their work into it. You're not just going to sit back and do nothing, complaining and whining about it, and blaming the government. It's just, it's done. It's over. If you're still looking for the answers there, you're probably going to always be really disappointed. Why? We're moving in to a new 2,000-year period. When you're on a cusp of something, it's like raindrops, okay? It's like, I see it, at least in my visual mind, of like, you know, little raindrops coming in of ideas. It's not the pouring flood yet. We're not in the flood of it. And then it's going to be a 2,000-year period learning how to use that energy. We don't even know how to use this Aquarian energy. We're fumbling all over the place. But look around you. There are people getting it. And I'm getting the message. Every time I get this feeling of, and I get, you know, depressed, and I'm not pushing fast enough because my old life was all about push, 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 and get it, you know, get that prize, get it, get it, get it. Nowadays, if your light's too high up on a hill, everybody, you're a target. You know, it's you just have to be careful. I don't know that it's about being so grandiose and so incredible. It just seems like such a far fall down. I think it's more about finding your tribe, knowing your heart, loving your work. Hey, you know, money is energy. Whatever lifestyle you want to live, visualize it. If I didn't have a family of kids, I'd probably get one of those, you know, little motorhomes and go all over the place, you know. Live like that. I could live off the grid, you know. Those are things that are all coming our way. Oh, you guys, I know. I don't know. I don't have any idea what I've said now. There you go. Sorry to my one girl that got mad at me. I get it. She told me that I have my boundless Pisces boundaries, but I should use my Virgo more. I don't know. But hopefully something resonated tonight. My whole point is there is a lot of intensity. I'm feeling it. Like, I'm just feeling like I'm surging right now with, you see me, I'm all over the place, and that's where everybody is. So, and I'm trying to hold it together. But I made my tea tonight with all my good stuff in it. I made hard-boiled eggs today. I've taken like baths, Epsom salts, and I'm starting to feel better. So I hope you guys take all this information and take what you need. If you'd like to get a reading, I would appreciate it. I do have a sponsor button on my website at cowgirlsastrology.com if you would like to sponsor my channel. And also I am on the new moon, Lord willing, that I have everything now moving a little forward. I will be launching some really great new opportunities for online astrology classes and library, because I want to be able to teach this language to the average person. Astrology will become the new language. So for those of us who've gotten in this movement, learn astrology, learn the language. And if you're interested in actually professionally being able to teach astrology, you got to take the time to learn yourself. And that's what my new library will be all about, going much deeper in these videos on how to. So stick with me, you guys, and thank you so much. And I hope you all have a great day. And like I said, take a step back. It's going to be fine. We're going to make it. One last thing that was on my mind earlier, I'll mention since it's there. 27th, 28th of this month, Mars will move into Aries for 2 months. And with Venus, Uranus is there direct. Things may get a little worse before they get better, because people are going to be extreme right now. And when the energy moves into Aries, people will be taking a lot of intense action. You know, you don't need to jump in to the craze. You know, be vigilant. The secret to this is healing and wellness, and be centered, because when this thing does whatever it's going to do, people are going to be looking for the healers. And I know you guys out there, many of you have healing professions and want to go into this direction. Now's the time to do it. All right, get in there. Get yourself out there if you've been working on it. You know, sometimes you just got to have that blind faith in yourself and believe it's not about you. It's about a message. And that is the age of Aquarius. All right, you guys. Have a great night.